Another glove review by Nutnfancy. Hey, remember these? These were featured in my tactical glove review. It was a three-parter a while back. I may annotate it if I think of it. These are the Damascus Interceptor X gloves in Coyote Brown, and I've been very happy with them. I have them in a couple different sizes. These are the large size. That's kind of what my hands are. They're a little bit short in the fingers, but you kind of want that. That way you have really tight fingertips, and that way you maintain good dexterity for weapons handling. That's what you want. You want to keep your hands a little bit warm in cool conditions too. And like I mentioned in my tactical gloves review, I do it with these tactical gloves. If it gets really cold, I'll transition either to a full-on fleece or full-on insulated glove, throwing on my tactical gloves when I shoot. I'll accept a little bit of loss of insulation with this type of glove, so I can maintain dexterity and the ability to actuate safety mechanisms, mag releases. I'm using this Browning Buckmark on loan just because I have it handy. So that's handy to have gloves with you at all times. And that's because, well, if you remember, your hands are kind of soft and susceptible to cuts. And you've probably seen that a lot here in the Nutnfancy project. I've cut myself just as much, if not more, than anybody else. There's that cut from the wooden shelf. Kind of ripped a chunk of meat out. On this hand, I have a couple others healing up. That's because your hands are just delicate. They're very susceptible to getting cut, scraped, damaged. So gloves help. Gloves are an integral part, I believe, of your tactical system, especially if you're a law enforcement officer. Or just a civilian sheepdog practicing your craft. Gloves are essential. So this, if you haven't figured it out, is yet another glove review. Not these. I've already talked about them, and I'll continue to use them in the Nutnfancy project. Love them. Damascus Interceptor X and Coyote Brown. But I found another pair which are high value and excellent, and that is the 5.11 Tac Lite Glove. Let me show you them. Now, they're not in the cool Coyote Brown color, which I kind of like. They're in black, tactical black. I'm not even going to use the word tactical, they're just in black. The good side is I guess they look kind of cool, but black to me kind of looks like dress gloves a little bit. So I kind of really like the other colors, like that one. I can swing with black, but let me tell you some things about this glove. First off, they're not going to break the bank. I wouldn't be doing a video on them if they did. Like I said in my tactical gloves review, if a glove goes over like $25, I know I'm kind of cheap that way, I start becoming very unexcited about the glove. And I think it is a very high profit item. There's several makers like Blackhawk, which are making very good gloves, but they're very expensive. I mean, you're talking $50, $60, and to me that's just a little bit on the high side. And these Tac Lite gloves by 5.11 prove that you can make a very high value and quality glove and not give up anything in the process. First off, let's talk about the fit. And remember when I said the fit has to be pretty much spot on for them to be useful as a tactical glove. They have to be tight. And as you can see, for my hand shape, these large size Tac Lite gloves are just that. You don't see any wrinkles. Look at the fingertips. Nice and tight. Again, we can actuate all the controls on guns, even your knife if you have to, with these Tac Lite gloves. Notice that the fingertips fold over. That's cool. So there's no bunched up material. And that's a big pet peeve of mine of a lot of glove designs. We don't want a bunch of material at the fingertip because we lose dexterity that way. Not cool. These are goat skin palms. My favorite is Amara leather, the synthetic leather, because if it gets wet, it seems to dry out better. I found that out in use of my biking gloves. I really like Amara synthetic leather in my gloves. However, this is goat skin. It's not synthetic. So if it gets wet, guess what? Probably going to stay wet. On the upside, it's thin and provides excellent dexterity. I've been wearing these in various functions. Haven't shot with them yet. You'll see me shooting with them in future videos, and I like them. Very tight fit, very glove-like, so to speak. Decent. On the back side is a Lycra fabric mesh, and I love that because I think I've mentioned to you that I'll produce a fair amount of hand sweat, when I'm working out there. And so anytime I can ventilate the back, I like it. Really like that material. Also, it doesn't catch on your Velcro closure. And this is your Velcro closure here. Nothing special. It's just made of that rubberized plastic material. And there's kind of a Lycra wristband right here. You could use that for wiping your nose if you had to. I know some guys said, yeah, I use that all the time. If you have to, you can. But notice that the Velcro on the Lycra doesn't stick that much. That's very nice. When you store your gloves, by the way, I'll come back to these Interceptor X. My technique for doing it is always keep them together. If you don't, you're going to lose one. And so I'll just simply do that. You know, Velcro them in such a manner that if I find one, I find both of them decent. Speaking of the wrist closure, it's simple and it's tight. Notice that there's no excess material. I mentioned on some of the other gloves I reviewed in the tactical gloves review that some of them have kind of cumbersome wrist closures. This is not one of them. Very simple. These kind of remind me of very well-made driving gloves, truth be told. In fact, they would function nicely in that role. A driving glove, it's tight, good dexterity, breathes well. That's the 5.11 Tac glove. Around $25. Again, I hate to say the price because it varies a lot. BrigadeQuartermaster.com has them for $25. If you're military, you can get a discount on them ordering through the AAFES. That's AAFES.com website. You'll have to log on with your military information, and they'll knock the price to around 20-ish, maybe 22. It's not a huge discount, but it's better than nothing. But this is an excellent glove. 5.11 makes more expensive gloves. I probably will not feature them because I think they're too expensive. And I would really ask myself, how do they beat the 5.11 Tac Lite glove? I mean, this is a perfect shooting glove from what I can indicate or find out so far. We'll find out as we go along. That's a quick review. Hey, 7 minutes. See ya.